Call recording is on, and this is Linda speaking on July 7th, 2015, and having a conversation with Wendy and Peter. Say hello, Wendy and Peter.
Hello, hello.
Hello there.
There they are. And we'll just do a little chat about, I think the theme for tonight is what business are we in terms of our networking business. I have had a chance over the last couple of weeks to explore a couple of network marketing trainers who are just wonderful. And I just want to share some of what I've been hearing and learning from them. One of them is, if you're watching the screen, this fella, Big Al, his name is Tom Schreider, and I don't know where he gets the Big Al from, but he goes by that. And he sends out very nice little emails with suggestions, and he has a new book coming out soon. If you're on get his free new book list, then you have like a couple days to sign up for the new book, and you just get it for free. So you can subscribe to his stuff. And very, very fun, very upbeat, very, very well experienced. He said he was an engineer. I don't know exactly what flavor of engineer, but an engineer who did really, really badly in his networking business for about a year and 10 months until he started thinking maybe he better figure something out and get some training. I had a chance to go to a presentation of his on Sunday a couple days ago for 3 hours, and you can probably look forward to hearing little bits and pieces of information from Big Al over the next weeks and months ahead. And one of the things that he was pointing out, which I think we kind of know, but I think it's always really good to remember again, especially with a company like Immunotech, because Immunotech has such amazing products.
Yeah.
Just, impeccable products. So we get really focused on especially our Immunical products because they're doing miracles for people. However, if one of our interests is to make money as network marketers, we have to remember the difference between Immunotech as the company and Immunical as the networkers. So Immunotech, the company Immunotech, lovely company, almost 20 years old, and their business is to develop and market extraordinary nutrition products. And I don't think there's any secret there. And we don't work for Immunotech. We are independent consultants or independent contractors. We work for ourselves, and our business is to build a network. It happens to be a network of people who will be using, by the way, Immunotech products. But we're not in the business of selling product per se. And like I said, when you've got such a fascinating product as we do, it's very easy to get kind of mesmerized by it and forget that we have some other skills to learn besides learning to say the word glutathione.
True.
So a little list that I put here of, what really are we doing? We're building a network. We're looking. The way we build our network basically is we're looking for people who have problems that need to be solved or needs that need to be filled. And if some aspect of our business can solve their problems or fill their needs, great, we invite them. And many of them get really interested, especially if they have those problems or needs, which tells you, by the way, we have to find out what people need. And that's one of the biggest parts of our business. So we'll do a little more with that in a few minutes. And so if we find out they have needs or problems that and they want help with them, then our next step is education. And we have to provide information to people. And I want to look down at that a little bit later, but even right away to say, if we're talking education, and interesting somebody in being a network marketer, we need to keep the education so transparent and so simple that a person could say, I could do what she's doing. So even though I love giving brilliant lectures, I have to muzzle myself and not give brilliant lectures if I'm talking to a new prospect.
Right.
Peter's laughing. Because I have to
Oh,
do
no,
something.
I'm not laughing. No, I'm not laughing at you. Please don't misunderstand me.
Right, okay.
We've had that conversation before, and it's true. It's 100%
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So, as a good role model, we have to demonstrate by our actions that, especially at the beginning, networking is so simple that a person doesn't have to go, oh, well, I can't sell and I can't learn all those words and blah, 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 blah. So something we need to consider, and we'll talk a little more about what that means. And Big Al on Sunday spent a lot of the evening saying, basically, we're in the decision-getting business. That's our business, is just to get decisions from people.
Right.
Yeah. And another one of the people, let's see if I can get his face up here. I think I sent this out a couple days ago, Mark Januszewski. He was one of the recent hero calls on the Bliss, Richard Brooks calls. And this is Mark's site. And I really enjoy listening to him talk, partly because I think he's brilliant and partly because he's got a really thick North Shore Massachusetts accent, and it makes me feel like I'm home. It's kind of fun.
Nice.
Anyway, brilliant teacher. And he's saying, absolutely, you've got to figure out how to do this business in no more than 12 hours a week, because otherwise it's just impractical for people.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Mark is saying is, where did that go? Is that we need to spend about 80% of our prospecting time listen to people tell us what their issues are. And there isn't very much we actually need to say. We need to find out exactly what their issues are, so then we can just invite them to look at something that's going to take care of their problems. And keep it very, very, very simple. So you've talked to a person for a while, you got the sense of what they need, and then you can say, geez, Wendy, if I could show you a way to retire and to be able to travel and take all the workshops you ever wanted to take just for fun.
Oh, you know me well.
we have met.
Yeah.
But if I could help you do that, like, would you be open to just having a look at a business possibility?
Yes.
And she says yes. And I say, Wendy, this email that I have, is this still your current email address? And she says yes. And I say, watch for something in the mail from me. It'll just be a video that you can watch. It'll give you a sense of what the business is. When can I call you back? And that's it. That's it. If I'm doing a really good job as a networker, that's as much as I have to teach you about glutathione, which at the moment is absolutely nothing.
Right.
Just keeping it so simple. So another one of the educators that I liked, he was having us practice something that I like to call question ping pong, and I thought that might be fun to do tonight. And it's in the same spirit that you need to be listening and gathering information and finding out what's going on with people and just getting in the habit. Maybe you're just at a summer gathering, and you want to get to know people. You might not want to prospect them on the spot, but you might, if you've talked to somebody who you know needs a call back, maybe you'll ask them, oh, do you have a business card or something? But you just need to be good at asking questions as a networker. So let's see. I'm going to ask one of you to play this game with me. Who's going to volunteer? It's very simple.
No, I'm bad.
You promise? You can try. You can try.
I'm really bad.
Well, here's the rules.
I don't want to wreck your recording.
You it's going to be hard to wreck the recording. Here's the rules. I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You give a courteous, very, very brief answer, and come back with another question.
Oh, okay. I will do my best.
It can be a stupid question. It can be a change the subject. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just that kind of on your feet.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, by the way, how tall are you? Or
Oh, good. Thank you. I needed that.
So, Wendy, what did you say? You said something about specialized kinesiology or something.
Right. Kinesiology.
Oh, kinesiology.
It's my day job. Basically helps with stress release and trauma recovery. Let's put it that way.
And your job in this game is?
And what height are you?
Oh, you know, I'm about 5'6" on a good day.
Great. On a good day.
On a good day. Yeah, and so do you like work with clients, or what do you do in that specialized work you do?
When I can find clients, I do just that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I work with clients. I also teach classes. And how tall are you again?
You know, I don't think anything has changed. I think I'm still 5'6".
Oh, very good.
But you were telling me, and how's your husband doing? Is he working at home or out of town now?
No, he's working sort of at home and doing a lot of search and rescue right now because he's a volunteer search and rescue chappie, and they're involved in in just notifying people in homes that need to be evacuated, etc. Yeah. And where do you live?
Oh, I live over in Peter Patch, Ontario. And I'm just curious, when he works on those on the volunteer fire stuff, does that have health implications for him?
It can. You know, there are risks. I mean, because he's one of the volunteer managers, he is usually in a truck somewhere. Often, well, not often, but sometimes actually parked in their hall. He's not usually one of the ones that goes out into the field. So, and what is it that you do, Linda?
You know, I do these interesting coaching and training events with people actually all over North America. It's really, really fun. Yeah, Wendy, do you enjoy coaching or teaching people?
Yep, I like it a lot.
Huh. And Peter, do you want to step into my slot so Wendy keep going and talk with Peter?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, come on, take a turn.
Okay. Exactly what part of BC do you live in, Wendy?
I live on the Sunshine Coast, which is a peninsula of the mainland. So we have the same area code as Vancouver, but we can't get there by road. We have to go by ferry. It's a 40-minute ferry ride. And whereabouts are you?
I'm in northern part of southern Ontario, a little town called Mount Forest. And, yeah.
Right.
What's the population like around where you are? Is it mostly rural?
Yeah, there are pockets of population that really are very isolationist in their outlook. If only they would join together. But we have what's called a northern and southern part of the Sunshine Coast, and there's another 50-minute ferry ride to get to the northern part. I believe we're a total of 27,000, and I'm not sure if that's just on the southern part or north and south together. But it's very touristy, it's very beautiful, it's forest and lakes and mountains and the ocean. You can ski in the morning and go kayaking in the afternoon.
Wonderful.
And what do you do in Mount Forest?
Well, I've been pretty much in the window business for quite a few years, residential windows.
Oh, cool.
And I'm now just branching out. I'm getting very involved in residential solar.
Oh, cool. That's very cool. That's just starting to hum here on the Sunshine Coast. One of our pockets of population.
So, Wendy, you're cheating. He didn't ask you a question.
Oh.
What? I didn't ask a question?
Yeah, you didn't ask a question back.
Yeah, you asked what Peter did. He told you.
Yep.
And then Peter has to
I'm supposed to
eventually
ask
come
a
back with
question.
his
But
question.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you see a lot of solar panels out in your part of the world?
Yeah, it's getting to be very, very hot here. And literally, and some places have sunshine. We're called the Sunshine Coast because we actually get, I guess, almost a month more of sunshine a year than Vancouver, 2 weeks more a year than Victoria, and
Really?
our yard is in shade, so we can't really say we're very sunny here. But apart from that, it is, it's certainly starting to take on here. So. And how long have you been working within the solar stuff?
Oh, this is new. About 5 weeks.
Oh, wow, really new.
Yeah. Some people that I know from the window business got me involved in this, and I've actually set up a dealership. And I'm busily hiring people, salespeople, and training, and all those fun things. And how long have you lived in the sunshine part of BC? I think.
Ding! Let me interrupt. Let me jump into this. So you get the idea.
Yes.
You ask a question, give a polite answer. Now, think the thing to do over the days ahead. If we could try it again now, if you want, but the thing to remember is, if your life depended on finding out whether the person you're talking to needs your business, what question might you ask next? How much conversation might you offer as an when somebody asks you a question, how much information? Maybe not too much, because your life doesn't depend on telling about yourself. It depends on finding out, can I fill a need for this other person?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a touchy area maybe, but I think it could be approached as, one, retirement plans, retirement income, health issues if there are any. Do you have health concerns? Things like that.
So for the moment, you can be socially inept, but with that in mind, go into another round and see what kind of questions you want to ask. If what you're really looking for is a prospect whose life you can save,
Wendy, are you and forgive me, we really don't know each other too well, but are you and your hubby looking forward to retirement? Are you going to have the resources to do the things you plan to do in retirement?
Oh, we won't be retiring. We were performers, so we won't be retiring.
What was that? I'm sorry.
We were both performers, and I have no retirement funds whatsoever. So, and I'm now 64 and a half, almost.
Well, you're like an awful lot of the rest of us.
So, Wendy, question. It's your move for a question.
Oh.
Well, I know the obvious next question. So, Wendy, if there was an easy, fun way to build a retirement fund and have an ongoing income, would that be of interest to you?
Yes, of course.
So
Wendy, ask him a question.
Oh, ask him a question. And what is this?
Well, it's a home-based business, Wendy, that you can get into with very little investment, and it can, over a reasonable amount of time, produce an excellent income for your retirement. Something that only takes a few hours a week. Would that interest you?
Yeah, if it really was only a few hours a week, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on what it is.
Well, these are very, very high quality health products.
So I'm going to put you guys on pause for a moment.
Yep.
Wendy, you've totally forgotten to find out if he's your prospect.
I didn't know I was supposed to. Okay.
Yeah, it's still back and forth. It's still back and forth. But I think we've done enough. I think we've done enough to give you some real idea of what this could be.
Yeah.
So, and I'm guessing Peter. Well, Peter, I'm sure you're really used to this question thing because you've been in sales for so long and you've asked millions of questions in your career. Wendy, you're used to asking questions when you're doing private sessions with people.
Yeah.
And finding things out.
Yeah.
So now start playing with the idea. I mean, maybe you're just exchanging 2 sentences in the grocery store with the clerk. But if your life depended on it, what would it be a sentence that would give you, maybe an opening to go into a conversation?
Yeah.
Or if you're at a gathering and you're chatting with a person you never met before, and you can play with, okay, what can I ask this person? I don't want to say much about myself because I am in the information gathering business.
Yeah.
And so it's something to play with because it's precious. It's precious when we're doing our business.
Something I saw the other day, and actually it came out of a book I was reading, but and as soon as I saw this quote, I was thinking about this business. It originally came from Star Trek Voyager. But the quote is, survival is insufficient.
Yeah.
And of course, what got me thinking about it is that's what too many people are doing. They're surviving. They're not really getting the most out of their lives, whether it's health-wise or financially or anything else. They're surviving.
Right.
And it's something I wrote down, and it's going to find its way into presentation somewhere.
And it's from what again? It's from the quote is from?
Pardon?
What is the quote from again, please?
It's from Star Trek Voyager.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, and it was in a kind of an interesting book written by a Canadian about what happened to the world after a flu pandemic, and 90-some% of the people died. And it's because I'm reading a bunch of books from the library for the Evergreen Award this fall, and I get to vote. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Good, and that kind of actually leads to the next couple things I wanted to mention here. At the workshop on Sunday with Big Al, he said, well, in our business, we need 3 things. He said, we need attitude, we need motivation, and we need skills. So in the attitude department, that's really just having belief and comfort and confidence in our company and our products and in our business model. So if we're missing any of those things, it's hard to talk to somebody about something you're not sure you believe in, obviously, or that you're confident about. So, and I don't really want to go into that level tonight. There's quite a bit of it on the company website. There's quite a bit on the Energy Works for You website now. That's lots of information there. And you can always talk to me later if you're certain bits that, how do I have more confidence in the company? And that's just information. But yes, so we do need a really positive attitude about what we're representing. Absolutely. And then the motivation, we have to have motivation, which is what Peter was talking about and touching on with asking Wendy if she might have motivation to look for a business.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was just listening to with this fellow Mark recording, he said, so often when people ask why you're doing the business, what they're really telling you is what they don't want. They're doing the business to get rid of their credit card debt. They're doing the business to get a better car. They're doing a business to be able to retire. So even if be able to retire sounds like a positive thing, you're basically saying, I'm doing this business because I don't want to be broke and not ever be able to retire.
Right. Yep.
And he said, chances are none of those things is like really heartfelt, life-changing. And he said, you want to think about when you pass away and if they put an inscription on your tombstone, he said, do you want it to read, he paid all his credit card bills on time and had a good retirement fund? It's like, yeah. He says, and he does a lot of training on helping people really dig deeper. What do you want it to say? You know, if they're doing a eulogy, what do you want to be remembered for? What, you know, if you assume you've got all the resources and the money and stuff out of the way,
Yeah.
why? What do you really want it for that makes your eyes a little bit wide and makes you get to work even when you're exhausted because you've got a mission that just drives your heart.
Yeah.
And the fine networkers, they all know that, you know, and they talk about, well, you have to have a why, but when they start articulating it, you need to be a why that's about your soul, and what really inspires you. And it's like, do I want to finish this life and I never got to do X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
You know, why am I here? What do I want to offer?
I think a better way to, if somebody asked me, Linda, I mean, paying the bills is important. We all know that.
Yeah.
But the financial freedom to truly enjoy my life and do the things that I really want to do is what I'm really after.
And what would it look like if you were really doing one of those things? What would one of those things be?
I want to travel. I want to travel a lot more. You know, it's that's one of the things I want to be able to do.
Yeah. What's on the top of the list?
What?
Destination.
For me?
Yeah.
Scotland.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
How much time do you want to spend there?
Oh, get me there, you probably won't get me home again, but that's another story. Yeah, you know, because I mean, I have traveled. You know this. I've traveled a fair amount. I mean, when I was flying charter, I traveled, and you know, I've taken personal trips down the Caribbean, South America, things like that. But I would love to see Florida or Scotland and Europe. Mm-hmm. I've studied the history deeply for years, the ancient history, and I want to see those places that my family came from and the places I've read about, and you know, just see what I feel when I'm there. Mm-hmm. You know.
So, Peter, I'm just curious. Are you ready to make some changes in your life that would let you do that?
Definitely.
Beautiful. Let's talk.
I wasn't feeding you lies, Linda. You know how I feel about this.
I know. I totally know. It's easy. It's easy to do this. So a lot of times, what we're coached to do is you spend all that time finding out what somebody's suffering from. You want to find out their problems. What's miserable? You want to get them really thinking how really miserable stuff is, and then you say, okay, so you know you want to be able to travel and you want to be able to do this and this, and then you talk about that beautiful thing. You talk about the thing that really inspires them. And then you can say, well, listen, Peter, if we could set you up with a simple business that's totally doable for you, that you felt good about, that can get you to Scotland in, certainly in a year's time, do you want to have a look?
But, Linda, it goes back, I think, to, on what you said about the tombstone, the credit cards. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But, that to me comes under the survival thing. Yeah. That's surviving, and that is insufficient.
Yes.
Everybody survives. Some do it better than others, but we all have a place to live. We have food on the table. The bills are paid. And so what's next? Mm-hmm. This is not the way I want to end up my life. Mm-hmm. And I think what's happened, and I'm maybe getting a little off the topic here, but I don't think so. When I go back to when I was a lot younger, and the whole thing was go, get a job, work, save your money, have the golden years, and do this and do that, and you're going to be able to do all these fun things. Well, that's what we all thought was going to happen. Most of us found out that with the changes in the world, that isn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, I for one, and you know how old I am, I am not willing to accept that. I won't accept that.
Right.
You know, and when I travel, I travel first class. I don't travel steerage or anything else. I go first class because that to me is important. Because I really want,
But
really,
let me
really
just
want
mention. There's one more thing I want to mention. Just information.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then we can chat quite a bit. If you haven't looked at it already, Richard Brooke has a wonderful book called Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. Mach 2 with your hair. And if you don't have it and you want, I mean, I have like a PDF of the thing. Whoops. But it's just a little book, and it's a wonderful structured program of how to really identify what you want and how to do some study and some exercises that basically is what it took to get him out of being totally stuck for 3 or 4 years in his networking business, and bang, within a year, going from being in debt driving a borrowed beater car, he was making.
He had a rough time.
He did, but when he started taking off, he took off, and he did it because he was using the training that he gives in this book. So I will try to attach that PDF to the website so people can just look at it. I just think it's brilliant. It's a wonderful tool.
I think I've got it. I've read it. I don't know if I put a copy of it away or not. I've got.
Did you read Mach 2 or did you read the 4-year career?
I've got the 4-year career.
Yeah.
I can't honestly remember whether I've read Mach 2. I would like to though.
Okay.
If I have,
Even
if I have it isn't something I wouldn't mind reading again.
Oh, this is something that if you really do it, you have to live with for a few weeks and really work on it. Yeah. So listen, I am going to thank both of you for being wonderful sports and letting me put you on the spot with our question ping pong game. And I hope it just helped you learn a few things. I'll end the recording for now, and then we can chat some more. Let me just find a little button here.